Nom, 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 nom.
Had you guys always had an interest in food and drink before you worked in finance?
So I've always been a foodie, always, my whole life. But I never necessarily thought I'd work in food. That was not really on my radar. But what basically happened is we used to work quite long hours and we used to basically eat a lot of junk. Partly because that was what was on offer and partly because it was the easiest, quickest thing to find. I actually grew up in India. My parents emigrated here when I was about 6 years old.
Cool.
So I've always eaten pop lotus seeds. So they're called makhane and they're such a common snack there. So they're like the crisp nut popcorn replacement all in one there. They're not like a new product or anything like that. So when my parents moved here, we would still eat them. And traditionally how they're made is you buy a big bag, you make them at home, flavor them yourself. So that's what we used to do. And I started taking them into work. And honestly, I was so surprised that no one had heard of them just because I was so used to them. Like it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. And it was just flavors, honestly, that I'd made in my kitchen. There was a lot of catastrophes. But I used to take them in, like just whatever I'd made that week, and it became a little bit of a thing. Yeah. And everyone loved them just because when you hear it, you're kind of like, oh, what the hell is a pop lotus seed? But when you taste it, it's really, really familiar. The texture is a cross between popcorn and a rice cake. So you're super used to it. And honestly, it carries flavor so well once you get obviously the right texture of the flavor, not whatever I was using to try and create them. And everyone loved them. And from there, it kind of was like a good 6 months before I was like, oh, actually, I can do it. I can start a food business. And Ash and I teamed up. Honestly, I dilly-dallied for so many months. I should have just done it, and then I was kind of like, okay, let's just do it, and that's when we started. That's how we kind of created the product.